We are all picking up pieces, and one day we will accumulate those pieces in front of our eyes and they will make sense. What I'm trying to say to you right now is one day all of this will make sense. You may not see it right now, but one day, my friend, it is going to make sense. It has to make sense because Allah doesn't put you in a situation that doesn't have meaning. It has meaning. Allah knows it. The problem is you don't know it. What if you accord Allah the respect that He deserves? And understand and see your situation from the eyes of Allah, and you understand that one day it will for sure make sense. What if you move in life with this understanding? Wouldn't that be something beautiful? Wouldn't that console you in any way? Wouldn't you feel much better? Wouldn't you be a soldier in the situation that seems to be hopeless and hard and harsh? Because life is hard in most cases. I have come to understand and realize that we live life not for the goals, but for the journey. Yes, we never really achieve the goal. We never really do. Even if we attain the goal, it is for a moment. The joy of success is momentary. It doesn't stay for long. What stays long is the journey to the goal. Jordan B. Peterson says that a man struggles to the height of the mountain, and then he just enjoys the sight for a moment, and then he wants to go to the upper height of another mountain. Unless you learn to find joy in the journey, your life will be baseless and sad and hard, and you would never enjoy it. May Allah give us the heart to realize and find happiness in our hustle. People are suffering. People are in pain. People don't see meaning because they never see themselves achieving the goals. What if I tell you that your life is not about the goals? It's not about the goals. It's about the journey. A wise man says that you set a goal that is so high that it shakes your heart. Why would he say something like that? I believe he says that because what would it make of you to achieve it? Well, if you set yourself a very small goal, it wouldn't take you much. But he says set a goal that will make something out of you to achieve it. Life is not about the goal. It's about the journey. Enjoy the journey. That's all you have. The joy of the success is minute in terms of minutes, in terms of duration. It doesn't stay for long. It is the journey. You tell me, when you go to school, when you went to school, what happened? What do you remember? Or you remember the time you spent. You remember that boring teacher, that boring lecturer, the one that always says something funny and the whole class will burst into laughter. What do you remember? Oh, you remember the moment you and friends went out to have some fun, innit? What do you remember? Oh, you remember that moment when you went to study, but then the teacher didn't come, so you had to spend some time together with friends and did all silly things. What do you remember? Oh, you remember that exams that was so hard that everyone couldn't answer the questions and it was so dramatic in the class. Now you see, the journey is what we remember. We don't remember the goal. Life is about the journey. It's not about the goal. I want to take this moment to really speak to someone that there are a lot of people who actually say the life of prophets, the lives of sages are so filled with pain and misery and sadness. People say that all the time. Prophet ﷺ has had one of the most difficult kind of life. You may think the Prophet ﷺ was happy. The Prophet ﷺ happiness wasn't the goal of the Prophet ﷺ. No. The Prophet ﷺ was chasing meaning. Do you understand this? It will be very fatal for you to postpone happiness for some future that will never come. It will keep receding from you as you chase it. It will never really come close to you. It will recede always. That's what goals do. And if it doesn't go by nature, by our nature, we would always want something higher. Let me just tell you something profound that I have discovered about goals. The closer we get to them, the more we realize it is not them that we wanted. We wanted something more. Tell me about the goals you had when you were just a little boy. Do you still cling to them? I hope you don't, and I really believe you don't cling on to them because those were childish thinking. That's what happens with goals. With time, they fade in value. And as we upgrade ourselves, they really lose their value. And then we realize those are the things we wanted as kids. We are not kids anymore. Life is not about the goal. It is not. It's really not. It's about the journey. Why don't you set yourself a goal that is so hard to achieve for what it would make of you to achieve them? Little people don't achieve big goals. There is one thing that I've discovered, and it has revolutionized my thinking. My way of thinking entirely changed. You have to change to reciprocate your goal. That's what it is. Your goal changes you, and it is that change that you need. I'm trying to say to you something that is so profound, something that, if you may, the sages, these people have understood, and it really worked for them. They understood that the goal is not the attainment, it's the transformation that it instills in us. What would it make of you to be a millionaire? I know your circumstances right now. You look everywhere and you were like, even 10 generations back, we don't have millionaires in my family. Why would I think of becoming a millionaire? Now, that is the kind of thinking that will not actually force any change in your life. The purpose of setting goal is not to achieve them. The purpose of setting goal is to transform. Because this is the trick. Now look. I know someone might be saying, what are you talking about? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The goal you set now will only be relevant in a year time. Maybe you can achieve it in a real time. All other factors held constant. But this is the trick. All factors cannot be held constant. Everything changes with the passage of time. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is stable. Nothing is fixed. So that all the variables are in play. Things are playing from various angles of your life. You may not necessarily see them, but they are playing out. So that by the time you get to your goal, many things have rendered your goal of less value. Imagine you want to have $1 million right now. But you cannot have $1 million in 1 year. So you think maybe in 10 years' time, I'll have $1 million. Now look, in 10 years' time, $1 million will be nothing. And you would come to realize that. And then you would be like, oh, perhaps I wanted something more. That's what I'm trying to say. Why don't you put something forth that would change you entirely? That's it.